All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see everybody here today. Looks like we have a good turnout. It was kind of a last-minute registration here due to our new procedure. But welcome, everyone. Glad you're all here. We have a really exciting presentation today. Our focused topic today, of course, everyone knows, is trails and tourism. And our moderator is going to be Carl Beard, who I'm sure everybody is familiar with. If not, he's a trails planner, retired from the National Park Service Rivers and Trails Program, and active also with the Ulster County Trails. Carl will present the today's agenda to you and introduce our guest speaker, Melaine Rottkamp, from who's CEO and president of Dutchess Tourism. Everyone is invited to stay here. We're running from 1 o'clock to 2:30. That's the time period for this roundtable. And we hope to have at least 15 to 10 minutes at the end of our presentation and local reports to discuss or debate anything we need to. So Carl, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Kathleen. And thanks everyone for attending. We've got just over 30 people here. I'm going to share my screen and look at the agenda here, if I can make this work. Does everyone see that? Because we had a little glitch earlier. Sounds good. Okay, thank you. Again, welcome everyone to the Winnakee Dutchess Trails Roundtable. This is an open forum where we get to learn and think and exchange, network about everything having to do with trails in our communities. We call ourselves Dutchess, but we also welcome our neighbors as well from Ulster and surrounding counties. And first, also thanks to our hosts and sponsors, Winnakee Land Trust, Dutchess County, Hudson Valley Greenway, and our new partners, Open Space Institute, and other trail groups who have been actively participating and helping us put together and sustain this program. So this is just a look at today's agenda. We're going to run for about an hour and a half. What we're in right now is part one, welcome and introductions. We'll then hear from Melaine Rottkamp from Dutchess Tourism, and then we'll have a chance for local reports. We have 4 of them listed here that we know of that we'll be hearing from, but we can host a couple more, time allowing, because there's been stuff going on in other areas that we may want to hear from, and I think from our friends over in Ulster County may have some stuff to talk about. And then write it in your calendar. We have another roundtable coming up in July, and at that time we'll be hearing from Open Space Institute. So we'll maybe get a little 10 words about that from our partners at OSI. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to stop my share. And next, we talk a lot about the benefits of trails in this kind of forum, and the many kinds of benefits of trails. The ones that pop to mind immediately are, of course, recreation. The chance to go for a walk or a bike ride or rollerblade or snowshoe, bird watching, whatever, or just to sit somewhere and take in scenic views or look at nature up close. With your friends and family, recreation. Health, we talk a lot about health on trails, not just physical health, but mental health and well-being. We also talk about transportation benefits of trails. Somehow they get to be called alternative transportation, whereas my argument is, aren't we all pedestrians? Isn't that really our primary form of transportation? And anyway, but transportation is very important. It's purposeful use of trails to go from A to B, whether it's to work or to shop or go to school, whatever. Then there's this other category of benefits that I call quality of life. And people usually think of quality of life as economic benefits, but I think of them really as having choices that are close to home, choices of things to do and see, and choices about ways of moving around, having options, and having a place for social and community connection. That's quality of life in my book, those kinds of things. Then we get to economic benefits, and to sell the idea of trails, you have to make the economic argument at some point. You just do, and because people will think about benefit cost ratios and things like that. And a few years ago, the New York State Trails Plan talked about trails. Said the trails are a quiet economic engine, not the kind of blockbuster economic development that most political people like to hear about, but something that just sort of quietly hums along and just processes and produces a constant stream of economic benefits. And a segment of those economic benefits, and some of the others as well, has to do with tourism. The economic benefits from tourism. And in my book, the way I immediately think about that is that means the economic part of that is bringing dollars from outside the community that's hosting the trail into the community, and infusing that kind of economic benefit. So that's sort of my pitch for today. But to get the real story, we're really pleased to have with us today Melaine Rottkamp from Dutchess Tourism, Inc., which is a story in itself, I think. And she's one of the leading tourism professionals in our area. She's been with Dutchess Tourism for something like 10 years now. Anyway, so we're delighted to have you tell us a little bit about Dutchess Tourism, help us understand how your part of the tourism industry works, especially with respect to things like trails that don't fit the sort of conventional model of tourism destinations, the way that hotels, restaurants, and things like that do. And maybe for those of us who are interested in capturing tourism benefits, give us some tips or insights about how to maybe do better at that. So anyway, that's Melaine, please take it away. I know you've got some things to show us, and help us learn.
All right, so I'm so glad to be here with you all today. Thank you for this kind invitation to talk to your group of people. You are my people. First of all, let's just start with that. Nobody knows better than all of you the incredible benefits of our trail systems and outdoor recreation here in our communities. So I love this photo. This was one that we took on a photo shoot back in 2019 on the Harlem Valley Rail Trail with some folks there to help show that what a great way to get outside and connect with your family. So that's that first photo there. So Dutchess Tourism, we started in 1984 as Dutchess County Tourism, part of the Economic Development Corporation, when New York State had a pool of matching marketing dollars that they wanted to distribute to each county, and each county had to designate an entity to receive that and market the county. So that was us. And then in 2015, we became independent. We're a 501c6 nonprofit. A lot of people think that we're a county department, and we're not, but we are governed by a board of directors, and we are primarily funded by Dutchess County government. We also receive funding from the Dutchess County IDA, We have funding from grants, from CFA grants, Market New York, some art money to do some work with. We have matching funds from New York State, and then some private sector dollars that we get that all help go towards making sure that Dutchess County is top of mind among visitors when they're planning their travel or meetings and conferences. We're accredited by Destinations International. It's a very rigorous process of almost 100 standards that we had to go through. We're one of about 220 in the world who has undertaken that. So we take our work very seriously and make sure that we are using best practices in all that we do, from our marketing to our human resources to our funding and financing and everything else that's a part of that. We are the designated destination marketing organization for Dutchess County. We are a member of Hudson Valley Tourism. There is no physical Hudson Valley Tourism. It is just the cooperation of the 10 counties east and west of the Hudson River between New York City and Albany. And we meet monthly and work, and we do have a budget that comes part of those matching funds dollars from New York State to market the region collectively and do some things that bigger than we can do individually on our own. We also partnered with I Love New York and with Brand USA. So Brand USA is the I Love New York for the whole country. And so we cater to those international markets. We like our international visitors a lot because they generally have more vacation time than all of us. And when they come, they stay longer. And when they stay longer, they spend more money. So we are very, very kind and do significant outreach to those key international markets for us. Our mission is to drive visitation to Dutchess County to generate the maximum impact through hotel stays and visitor spending for the benefit of our community. Everything we do is for the benefit, in service to our community. Tourism is a means to an economic development end. And we're all about generating revenue and bringing, like Carl said, those outside dollars into our communities. And so the way we look at that then is tourism promotion is that shared community asset, because we know that the success of Dutchess County's tourism industry is essential to maintaining that economic stability and, importantly, quality of life for all that live and work here. And that's my family out at Doverstone Church. So what does that economic impact look like? In 2020, we know it was a pandemic, and despite that pandemic, visitors still spent $417.8 million in Dutchess County. One of the key things that helped us during the pandemic are all the outdoor assets we had to promote. There were so many things, so many people looking to get out of New York City and other places in New York, and they came to our outdoor spaces that they felt safe in, they felt comfortable in, they could reconnect with nature, get out of especially small apartments, you know, when you're cooped up with family members and you just need some space. Dutchess County had that space, and we really relied heavily on sharing that information with our visitors. So you can see that even 417 million is a lot of money. It's nothing to sneeze at, but that was down 38% from the year before, which was our 10th consecutive year of growth when people spent $674 million in Dutchess County. That is a lot of money. And so what that means for our residents, because some people think, well, I don't care about tourists, they have nothing to do with me, but they do, because those visitors contribute, you know, $65+ million in state and local taxes. And what does that do? That reduces your tax burden. Because if we all collectively, if every household in Dutchess County had to make up for those dollars, we would need to be taxed an additional $607 per household to make that up. So that is significant. And again, in 2019, it was much higher. It was in the 700s and change. And what else does that do? Visitors and tourism supports more than 8,000 jobs for our friends and neighbors in the county, with a combined income of more than 300 million. And those visitors then spend those dollars on, you know, insurance and groceries and housing and buying a car and all the other services and businesses that people own and that support and maintain our community. So that's really, really important. And that Also, those jobs are not just entry level, waiters and waitresses or front desk hotel clerks or maids. It's people who curate museums. It's people who manage parks. It's people who do marketing and tourism and what I do. It's people who run theaters. It's, all levels. That career ladder is really important and significant. And we need to get people thinking about tourism and the hospitality industry as more than minimum wage dead end jobs, because they're not. You can have a great career in the tourism and hospitality industry. So that 417 million that we talk about, number one area of spending is food and beverage. We are a foodie destination. We are so lucky here. We take for granted that we have amazing farms that are connected to our chefs, many of whom are trained at the Culinary Institute of America, and produce incredible dishes for us to enjoy. Lodging was that next area, followed by transportation, shopping, and then recreation at 33 million. And that, generally speaking, is on the lower end of the spectrum, because a lot of what we have to offer is free. It doesn't cost people money to enjoy our trails and our outdoor activities and experiences. So here's what that 10 years looks like. There you can see that growth, and we were on such a great path, and then bam, the coronavirus came and hit us. But you can see also from the next slide that occupancy tax that's collected by the county. There's a 4% on every hotel room that's collected, and also short-term rentals contribute an equivalent fee as well. And in 2021, you can see that rebound in that growth. So we're excited. We get those visitor spending dollars that you saw from 2020. That comes from New York State. They contract with a company called Tourism Economics to conduct that annual economic impact of tourism study for us. So we don't have the 2021 numbers yet, but I expect that they're going to look very good. So we talked about tourism supporting people. It is the state's third largest industry. You can't outsource those jobs, and they are at all education levels. We talked about, hotel sales managers, horticulturalists at some of our historic sites in our parks. Everything from a baseball team manager, the Renegades, that's tourism. People, especially with that Yankee affiliation, are coming from further away to see our team play. Airline pilots, travel writers. There's a lot of careers that touch tourism and hospitality. So how does Dutchess Tourism market the county? There's 3 different key ways that we do that. With paid media is probably the thing that you're most familiar with. And that's everything from paid and promoted posts on social media to our videos airing on connected TV streaming services like Hulu and Roku and some of those other places that people were watching and streaming and binge watching shows. We've used podcasts and radio. We did a big promotion last year with TripAdvisor because that's where people are going to book their travel. And then also some national and international magazines. We do very little print media. Digital is the best way to reach them, but always using multiple channels. You tell them here and you tell them there and you tell them somewhere else, and then they hear it over and over enough that they believe that Dutchess County is the place that they have to be. We also get earned media through our public relations efforts and everything. Even today, Travel and Leisure named Troutbeck one of their great places for like a spa and restful wellness getaway, along with other places in the country, in Arizona and Florida and all over. But our Troutbeck here in Dutchess County made that list. And that was exciting, and that's through our efforts to get the word out. And then, of course, we have our owned media channels. That's our website. It's all our brochures and guides. It's our social media channels. It's our YouTube, our Facebook, our Twitter and Instagram. All of that are all the different ways and tools that we use to get the word out about how wonderful and unique a destination that Dutchess County is, and the Hudson Valley by extension too, as we work and partner with our Hudson Valley tourism partners. Here's some examples of some of our ads that we have done. The top left, this is a beautiful view from the walkway over the Hudson in the evening. I love those night walks. That was a 2-page spread in New York Moves magazine. Below that, you see a car storied experience. We have worked pre-pandemic, and we're going to do it again this year now with a company called Carver Ties, where we wrap Uber and Lyft vehicles in a destination. So this one here, there was a series of 4 cars. One had a bicycle, one had a canoe. We had a great one of FDR riding in his car that made it look like he was in the back seat, and then another one of the Spirit of St. Louis at the Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome. And we had them driving all over Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. and those key tourist areas that made sense. And so the drivers were also trained to be able to have material to hand out to the passengers and answer their questions about Dutchess County. And because they would see the car, they would get in, they would want to know more. And so we'll be doing that again this year in Tampa and Savannah, which are markets that now have direct flights to Stewart International Airport. So we want to reach those visitors in the summertime where it is hotter than heck down there, and get them to come to the Hudson Valley where it's cooler, a change of scenery, and to explore what we have to offer here. And then, of course, the one on the right, that's a digital ad that ran as a part of a promotion we did in New York City in December. Plan your visit now. Really focusing on outdoors and wellness and recreation, and make that easy trip. We had digital display ads in the subways in New York City and Grand Central Station, so it was a good market to target for us at that time of year. That bottom banner here that you can see, enjoy everything fall from A to Z in Dutchess County, that was on TripAdvisor along with a bunch of other ads on TripAdvisor, and that piece on the left was a video that ran with the static text on the right side, and that highlighted Ferncliff Forest and the view from the tower there. That top ad was in Guest Quest digital, and that's also a print guide. So really trying to drive people. You can see how we were trying to drive them to our parks. The left, the AT, that was one of the digital GIFs cycling through. Start your story here. That TripAdvisor sponsored social post, that again was Ferncliff Forest, and then the walkway showing how accessible it is. Because that's an important piece of that. That ad is going to appear in the Hudson Champlain Valley Guidebook. This is another great Guest Quest ad that we had highlighting Innisfree Gardens. And, great family time, picnic, enjoy the outdoors, walk through the trails of Innis 3. And then here's some of the international ads that we've done showing the fire tower. These are in German. We cater to that German market. They come, they're a big part of our marketing piece. The top right, you can see we had, before the pandemic, done some targeted marketing through partnerships with I Love New York and China. We also go to travel shows where we meet one-on-one with travelers, and also you can see the American Bus Association. Every time you see one of those tour buses parked at a hotel or in our community, know that on average they spend $16,000 a night in a destination. So group bus tours are really great, and we have certain outdoor aspects that they love to visit. So that's something to think about. If your particular trail is accessible, a lot of people that take those bus tours tend to be older folks who may have some mobility challenges, and that's why we're really excited that the Walkway Over the Hudson now has their electric tram to be able to help people get out and explore the trails a little bit more. They do like Innisfree because they've set it up so there's things that can be done. They don't have to walk the whole trails, but they can see and experience some of the beauty. They might have their picnic lunch at a place. So think about how your trail might be accessible or interesting to a bus group. If there's a specific tour that you could give, or some of them are incorporating tastings and things, getting chefs involved, getting craft beverage producers involved, and having a unique experience. We do, like I mentioned, those international sales missions. We have a lot of folks that we work with there. We have a person in Germany who translates all our stuff for us and does training, because those international visitors use travel agents almost exclusively. And so we spend a lot of time training those agents, providing them with great photos and videos, and teaching them all about what they can do, what they can, their customers can experience here in the Hudson Valley. And then they sell bookable packages. So that's everything from the airline to the hotel, possibly a car rental, possibly an experience. There's different ways to do that. So we really work hard to get all those people here and make it as easy for them as possible. If you haven't had a chance to be on our website, it's dutchesstourism.com. We get over 1 million views annually. Please sign up for our monthly e-newsletters. There's 2 that we do. One is targeted towards visitors, and you are a visitor in your own hometown and in your community, please sign up for that one, but also for the industry one, because that's where we let you know anytime that there are special programs happening, whether it's a virtual roundtable that we're doing, some training, marketing or accessibility training, or some other coming up on the first Tuesday in May. We'll be having our brochure exchange. And again, these are, because we are Dutchess County funded, these are for just Dutchess County businesses. But we exchange brochures with one another. We make sure we all know what's going on, so that we can also cross promote and tell the visitors, hey, you were just at my site, you were just at my trail. Did you know that this is just down the road? Do you know where you're going to eat? Here's some recommendations. And we connect with one another and lift each other up, because the longer those people stay in our destination, the more money they spend. And that's good for all of us. So do check out our website. This is a sampling of our outdoor page on the digital, some of the things that we highlight and promote there. We also have some great top 10 lists of easy walking trails, top hiking trails, everything from dates that won't break the bank, places to run, things to do, really just different ways to get the word out about those great experiences. And then what we also do is, you'll see on our website these amazing galleries of photos. These are photos submitted to us through Instagram, where they'll tag us with the hashtag #MyDutchessStory, or we might just see them and then we'll ask, hey, we love your photo. Would it be okay if we used it on our website? Some of them we've turned into postcards. Some of them we've put in our travel guide. Some of them we've used in our ads, and we always credit the photographer, and most everybody says, yes, we would love to be featured. And so this is the, CrowdRiff is the name of the platform we use, and this is the gallery on our outdoors page. So you can see real people in our destination. They're not paid models, they're not posed. These are folks just out enjoying and having a great time in our community. This is our destination guide. You all are getting a sneak peek at the cover. We are going to get this. This is going to arrive in our hands on Thursday. I cannot wait to see it. It's a love letter to Dutchess County, but it is a huge puzzle to put together. It is a difficult undertaking, because Dutchess County is 800 square miles. We have over 1,200 businesses and attractions listed on our website, and it's hard to give everyone the attention that we would love to give them. So we try to mention as many as we can in ways that make sense, but we also try to we do focus on those big attractors, because it's the big things that people will plan a trip on. And then once we get them here, and as they're planning, then we can sprinkle in all the other wonderful things that round out a great trip. And so you're going to see some of those as we continue to talk about this. These are our companion brochures that we offer that go into greater detail than we can cover in the guide. That bike tour guide is really exciting. We did that at the end of 2020 to line up with the opening of the Empire State Trail. This is the third, I think, iteration of our bike tour guide, and thank you to Emily Dozier and anybody else on the Zoom who helped us by looking at these trails. I am not a cyclist. I'm not. I like to ride my bike on the rail trail where it's flat and I don't have to worry about cars, but I am not someone who rides on the roads. I do not ride long distances. If we had e-bikes here, I would be super excited about those. But it was a great piece to put together and really useful for a lot of people. The walkway, I hear, has a hard time keeping them in stock. So we're really glad to get that out. There's a digital version and there's also print. And then we have our Farm Finder guide, our Contemporary Arts Trail, and then this year we renewed and updated our craft beverage trail in December of 2021. I will tell you, this is the third version of this brochure, and the count of craft beverage producers in Dutchess County have doubled since that first guide. So it's really exciting. And there's still more coming. I just learned about a new brewery opening in Tivoli last week. So it's hard to keep up with everything, but we do the best that we can. This is my plug for the county DutchessNY.gov/parks trails. I had nothing to do with making this, but I promote the heck out of it because I think it's an amazing tool that they have put together. They put so much into it, and it doesn't matter who owns the trail, whether it's a county park or state or national or a town park or whatever it is. I love that you can find out how difficult the trail is. I love that you can find out how long the trail is. I love that you can filter by all those different amenities. You know, can I fish there? Does it have a dog park? Does it have a grill? Can I picnic? Where can I, you know, do frisbee golf or whatever it is, or cross country ski? It is a tremendous resource that the county has spent a lot of time and effort on. And I also love that it has those 360 photos and good visuals. So people who may have neurodiversities and different challenges can see and know what to expect before they go, because they have these great photos. This is our outdoor enthusiast video. I would like to take a few minutes to show you. So hopefully you can hear it and see it.
Located in the heart of New York's Hudson Valley, the outdoors of Dutchess County has the power to heal. From hikes that get the body moving to sights that set the heart racing, you'll feel stronger and healthier while breathing deeper and easier. And there's always a rush that comes with exploring the outdoors. Whether you're looking to soothe the mind, body, or soul, come to Dutchess County and experience the healing nature of nature. Plan your trip at DutchessTourism.com.
So that's one of the videos that we promoted last year as we developed that, and we still weren't sure what was happening with COVID. Now we're going to skip it again. Here's some more videos you can find on our YouTube channel. Open trails, more about nature nurturing the soul. We had a series of Air Dutchess videos. So at the end of 2020, not still knowing what was going to be happening, we took a lot of the drone footage that we had already shot and repackaged them to create this Air Dutchess series. There's 12 individual videos that highlight different parts of our county and things that you can do. You know, that's Innisfree on the bottom right, that's Ferncliff Forest on the top right. There's one from Fishkill Farms, there's one from fly fishing at Orvis Sandinona, there's drive-in movies at Four Brothers, there's the walkway over the Hudson, there's a lot of wonderful videos in there that we did, including a great interview with our creative director and our drone pilot. And then at the end, there's a video that kind of takes samples from each one of them that highlights them. And those won 2 regional American Advertising Gold Awards recently. So we're really proud of that series. I encourage you to check that out if you get the chance. So I want to talk a little bit about the money, right? We have a partnership with a company called Zartigo. It's a destination data operating system that helps us get more up-to-date metrics. I shared with you numbers before from 2020 that we got from the state. Zartigo is a platform that's going to give us not only historical data, but you know, almost daily or weekly, depending on which metric it is that we're looking at. We're developing this now. We don't have it all done yet, but Colleen in my office, Colleen Dorney, who is amazing, if you don't know her, talked with our partners at Zartigo, and they were able to give us some of this information. This was stuff we had from a visitor profile study on our top 5 states that come. No surprise, a lot Northeast, but also that Washington, D.C. area, and then that Florida market as well. Those easy flights, a lot of family, a lot of people move back and forth. Our top 5 countries, again, no surprise, Canada, we share a border with them, but the UK and Ireland, Germany, the Netherlands. A lot of people like to come and learn about our Dutch history that we have here. And then the Australian market is actually really strong for us. And again, we love those folks. It's a long way to come here. So when they come, they stay, you know, 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time, which is amazing. So this is some data from Zartigo that looked at visitors to Drayton Grant Park and Burger Hill, the Harlem Valley Rail Trail, the walkway over the Hudson, and the William R. Steinhaus Dutchess Rail Trail. And so those top origin markets for visitors, no surprise to anyone, I don't think, is New York City. You know, and then those Hartford, New Haven, Connecticut area, these are the DMAs, the marketing areas. Albany, Schenectady, and then Philadelphia, where we've been doing a lot of advertising. Boston, where we also did quite a bit last year. Washington, D.C. is another one of our markets. Syracuse as well. Tampa, St. Pete, we're going to be doing more there this summer. Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area of Pennsylvania, and that Baltimore, again, Washington, D.C. area of the East Coast. So you get a little bit of a glimpse on where are those trail users coming from. When you break it down by trip types, this is a great couple. I love this photo. I met them. I took their photo at the Hopewell Depot. They were from Delaware. They were excited about the Empire State Trail, and they started up at the Canadian border. They're in their 70s, and they've been riding this tandem bike all the way down, and I met them here. They had gone to dinner at the CIA. They had visited some of the different parks, and so they were taking their time. Obviously, they're retired, so they had that time to give, and they were having the best time exploring our Empire State Trail. And so it was great to meet them. And you can see this pie chart on whether it's the short trip, 17% of people from those areas, short trip or day trips, a little bit of the long day trips. But this is a number that pleasantly surprised me. I never would have expected that 61% of those trail users were also overnight visitors. And I am super excited about that statistic. So it's really fun to have this new platform, and I'm excited to dig into that more. It's a custom database for our destination and looking at our different POIs. So as we learn more about our trails and our outdoor assets, I'm excited to be able to share those details with you. But I thought that was a fantastic statistic that 61% of those folks that visited, those outside visitors, so not county people, not regional people, but those out of area visitors that came here and explored those trips, more than half of them, almost 2/3 of them stayed overnight. So that's great, because remember, when they stay overnight, they spend more money, because our day trippers spend about 1/3 of what overnight visitors spend. And so that's really good for us. And then they also have those sales tax, those occupancy taxes. And if they're staying overnight, they're having an evening meal, they're having a morning meal. And so that's good for other businesses. So what can you do to help attract more visitors? Make sure your online presence, this is something I was just talking about this morning with a partner. Make sure that your website is up to date and your social media is up to date and your Google My Business listing is up to date, that they all have the same information. During the pandemic, it was really hard for us as we try to help all our businesses, because we would get conflicting information. We could never get anybody on the phone. So really, it takes time, I know, but you need to build it into your schedules. Assign somebody to make sure all that information is current and up to date. People still like printed materials and maps, especially in Dutchess County, where we know that cell service on some of our trails and parts of our county is really either sparse or non-existent. So having some printed materials is still incredibly valuable. And if you're a Dutchess County business, make sure you're connecting with us. We're here to help you. Most of what we offer is free at no cost to you except for your time. And that's really important. And if you're not in my county, connect with your county tourism office. We all work together, but each one of us individually can make sure that you're listed on our website. If you've got new high resolution photos to share, send those our way. Any tools you can give us to help promote you, the better. If you have special events, and not cleanups and not community events, but if there's any kind of something that a tourist would do on vacation, say to yourself, would I do this if I was vacationing in this area? That's what our calendar of events is for. And so make sure that those events get listed so people can find them. Our event calendar on our website is the most popular page on that website. So again, how can you attract visitors? Accessibility is really key. Social stories, those are a series of descriptions and photos step by step that show people who have developmental disabilities or other challenges can know and understand what to expect before they go. The Anderson Center for Autism has terrific people that can help you put those together. We don't expect you to know how to do that yourselves, but we get help too. And then if you do that and you're in Dutchess County, we can share that on our website. We can help make sure that that information gets out. We do have an accessible tourism page also where we highlight those kind of things. And depending on what you're doing, if you're doing special things, to welcome people and be incredibly accessible. And we might do a spotlight on you that we've started to do. We do quarterly. We want to do them more often. Spotlights to show people how Dutchess County welcomes and is accessible to all visitors. Key amenities, this is no surprise to people. Restrooms, that's a big deal. Signage, clearly marked trails. If you can have a food truck or waters and snacks, things like that, that's great for people on trails. Bike rentals. So many people would love to come ride bikes here. Maybe not, they don't have a bike. Maybe they flew here. Any place that they could rent a bike and get out on our trails, any way you can help them do that is going to increase the people who can experience your trail and your park. Same thing with repair stations. We want to make sure everybody is safe out there, and if they have the tools to make sure that they can continue to ride safely, if they have a mishap, then that's good. And the other thing I want you to think about are EV charging stations. As we talk about sustainability and more cars are electric, what can we do? If your trail has charging stations and the next trail over doesn't, and you've got somebody who needs that service, where are they going to go? They're going to go to you. So other ways you can help us with our recovery, shop local first. That's so important. Plan a staycation. Invite your friends and family to come visit. We all know that the number one reason right now, research is telling us, it's, again, no surprise that people are traveling because they want to reconnect with family. So you might as well have your family do it here and spend your money here. And you can be the hero, because now you know where to find all the cool stuff there is to see and do when they come to view you. If you've got social media, share our information, follow us on social media, be a champion for our destination, help people understand what a wonderful place it is to visit here in the Hudson Valley. Because there's still people we encounter that say, why would anyone come vacation here? Well, they do, and they come from all over the world to do it. And so it's our job to be good cheerleaders for all those things that a lot of people take for granted. If you're a part of an organization, I know Ron Rosen, and they're doing their AT conference coming up. But thank you for bringing them to the Hudson Valley. If you've got other organizations, have those meetings here. That helps us. And find your inspiration at dutchesstourism.com. So that's me. That's my email, mrottkamp@dutchesstourism.com. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or you want to know anything more that I can help you with. And if you've got questions, I'm happy to answer them now.
Great. Thank you, Melaine. That is an awful lot to absorb, and I'm so glad we're recording this so we can pick it up on the rerun. We do have a couple of questions that have come in through the chat, and I just want to quickly pitch them to you. One is a quick one. What were the two industries that are ahead of tourism and revenue dollars?
Oh, food and beverage was number one. People like to eat, and they're doing it 3 times a day, sometimes more. You need that afternoon pick-me-up ice cream cone, and that's followed by lodging.
Okay, that makes sense. Great. The next one is actually this question directed to the page where we can sign up for e-newsletters, and I think Kevin Smith actually put your website in the chat.
Excellent.
Right.
DutchessTourism.com. Sign up for e-news.
Thank you.
Looks like it's right there. That's great. Next
How do we
question.
post our organization's events on Dutchess Tourism? Brian Stranidi.
Yeah, sure. So you can reach out to Rich, R-I-C-H, at DutchessTourism.com. Rich started yesterday. We're very excited to have him with us, and he can help you get your event posted. And again, make sure that it's the kind of event that someone would do on vacation. We generally don't post any kind of fundraisers or cleanups or anything like that. It has to be something special that people would do if they were traveling. There are other community calendars that do that, and we can help you find those if that's more in line with what your event is. But reach out to Rich.
Okay, great.
Thank you. So it's not ordinarily trail maintenance things where we bring drinks and donuts.
No, but it's always good to hear about those, because there's times where our team might want to come out and get to know you and also help, because we care about our communities and about our trails too. So
But
we
it's
have
an
been known to
important
pitch in
distinction.
a hand or two here and there.
Yeah, but it's an important distinction. Okay, next question is on that question with the tandem touring bike with the folks from I think it was Maryland or Delaware.
Yeah.
Kevin asks, is that an e-bike? Do you happen to know? Because he says that may be an important data point for Empire State Trail tourism, enabling people to get around.
I didn't notice that it was. I don't know if you can tell by looking at the bike itself. I don't think so.
May require more research, but that's an interesting point, because
okay.
That's
I don't know what tandem bikes look like.
And there are many kinds around.
Yeah, they were super though.
Carl, if I might, part of the reason I'm asking is because the recent e-bike law passed in New York State gives a tremendous amount of home rule authority to local municipalities for facilities that run through their boundaries. And so something like the Empire State Trail and possibly some of your other great Dutchess County trails that run through different municipal boundaries, it's increasingly important that there be some kind of consistency and uniformity, but we don't have that in terms of regulations and policies right now. So that's part of the reason I mention it. It's just, I believe that is an e-tandem bike, which would make sense for people that are doing long distance touring of the kind that those folks are. I salute Dutchess County for having an e-bike policy on the county rail trail facilities. I just want to encourage that people to be thinking that way regionally and statewide. Thanks.
Good. Thanks, Kevin. Kevin is the chair of the Ulster County Trails Advisory Committee. So thanks for that remark. And if people have other questions, please feed them into the chat, and we can catch up to Melaine. I hope she'll hang around for the rest of the program, and we can catch her later. And thank you so much. And again, I'm so glad we're recording this, because this is an awful lot to absorb. Some of the data you put out there. Okay, if you could hand us back our screen, I'd like to move on to a couple of our updates, or regional updates. First would be our Winnakee Land Trust's first annual Trails Count with Dave Cliffon.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Let me share my screen. And that is a pretty tough to follow up there. So
yeah, it's going to take us a couple of whole roundtables to recover from this one, I think.
But great job for Melaine. Yes, we got our very first trail counting cameras about a year ago in February of 2021. Warren handed them to me. They were a generous donation. There are 3 cameras from Trafix. TRAFX is the name of the company that provides them. They're commonly used. And our inimitable Bob Wills put together a bracket and put these cameras into a trail box, into an electrical box, and we put them out at the parks. Let me see. So here you go. And so that's what it looks like. This is the one at Burger Hill. You can see it's posted. It's on a post. It's got a little hole there, if you can see, where the camera is poking out and capturing people as they go by. There are also ones at Winnakee Nature Preserve and Bly Marsh, so it's left everybody on this call to do a scavenger hunt and try and find them. So if the boring part is like, what do you do with these? So if you take a look inside the box, you'll see the camera at the bottom. It's not actually taking pictures of you. It's sending infrared waves out that picks up on heat that goes by. So it could pick up on deer or bats or bikers or whatever else, but it's meant to be picking up on hikers and people going by. That data goes through the wires into a little computer board that's inside the container there that's camouflaged. And so that's great, but how do you get the information from there to something usable? So we don't have any kind of fancy Bluetooth technology. We have to go with this shuttle, this red shuttle adapter that gets connected. You can see that I popped the box open here, attached it to the computer board. The shuttle will suck the data in. You bring it to your warm home. You hook it up to more wires and you pump it into your computer. And you take it from your computer and you upload it to Traffics. So whichever direction it is, it's kind of an upload, download, upload. But eventually it'll get there and you'll start getting data. And so here's a look at our first year of data from all the way from back in February of 2021 until April of this year. It shows that we started at Burger Hill, but then later on you see green Winnakee Nature Preserve. About April, we got going with Winnakee Nature Preserve, and then Marsh later in June. We've got about a year of information, and it's very valuable. I mean, this is really showing what kind of scale of data, scale of people are coming into the parks, which is good. But then you say, well, this is great information, Dave, but what about that gap in the middle? What's going on with Burger Hill there? And the answer is, if you saw the boxes before, they're electric boxes with knockout holes that people like to poke at. And so that lets rain in, which lets rain into the container with the computer board, which will, on the left, burn the computer board out. So we've had to go through a replacement process where Warren bought a new board. It got hooked up, was restored. We've got things going again, and now we've had to pretty poorly put silicone sealant on the knockout holes to try and prevent people from getting in there. So what do we learn from the data? Well, here's the data from the past year with the most popular days removed, the 3 most popular days removed. So this is showing average usage. And it shows that there are up to, at Burger Hill, up to 600 counts, raw data, counts a day. A person goes by and comes back. That's up to 600 counts. We can track and see that people are visiting the park more on weekends. We can see that nice sunsets, there are more people there as well. For weather, it's lower, but it's a very good sense of the park being used up and down over a period of time. However, if you add in the most 3 popular days, well, you will see that ultimately sledding is the most popular activity at Burger Hill. So here are 3 days, 1 from 2021, 2 from this past year, this past winter. It dwarfs the other usages at Burger Hill, and it confirms that Burger Hill is a regional sledding destination. And what this helps to inform us is that we know that the parking is stressed on sledding days, and this is a digital defense of that issue, and it's something that Winnakee can look into and consider in the future. So it's quite a change there. What other information can we get? We can see, for example, the hours of the day of usage at Burger Hill. It goes up and it goes down. Maybe at 11 o'clock, retirees wake up. Maybe in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, there are dog walkers coming in. Maybe sunsets in the wintertime. So it's pretty well spread out. It shows that it's popular in the mid-afternoon. It's a good sense of what's going on. And then you might say, well, what's going on at 4 a.m. over there? There's something going on that says every 3 days or so, 3 or 4 days, the camera's picking up on something. Could be, we don't know what it is, but it's now an agenda item for a Burger Hill subcommittee to figure out what that could be. It's kind of a mystery. So it's fun to think about. So what we did to get, before the posts were ready, back last winter, the box with the trail counter was stuck into the rock wall. And that was important. We captured last year's sledding day to know that it was a very popular activity, and we were aware of that this year. This was put in the wall. You can see a cable lock that actually went around the black locust tree off there to the right and came back. And this seemed to be a good idea, but 2 days later, Brian Grimm, who is on our subcommittee, called up, which is not unusual, but he also works for Dutchess 911. And he said he got a call from the state police who said they had to see something, say something, phone call. Maybe it was somebody on this call itself. And so there was something going on at Burger Hill, and it happened to be the box in the rock wall. So maybe not a good idea, certainly looking suspicious, but that's kind of what happens. So, and finally, what are the dangers and the risks of being a trail counter or someone collecting trail counts? Of course, you have to worry about Lyme disease. It's an epidemic inside of a pandemic that we're living in. Secondly, there's certainly poison ivy, but then there are these man-eating spiders. You have to make sure that when you open the box to not stick your hand in there. This spider is taking up some pretty popular Hudson Valley real estate. So it's been booted out, it's been put on the MLS, and you may say it's a man-eating spider, but what about women? So we'll have to see if Kathleen takes over the duties at some point in the future. So there you go. On to year 2, and we'll see what happens this year. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. Great. Moving along, a report on the Poughkeepsie's urban trail. Emily, do you have something to show us there?
Sure. I don't know if I can share my screen.
Dave may have to give you permission.
You're all set.
Okay,
Okay,
take it away.
let's see here. Thank you. Okay, so if you're not familiar, this is the Dutchess County urbantrail.com website. And if you go to the About page, there's a nice map here that's been updated a little bit to show the current status of the trail construction. So I was just gonna give you guys an update. And this is from Matt Dukavich, who's our County Public Works Project Manager. So if you've been out on part of the trail near the rail trail, you can see some trees were taken down. They've been chipping all those trees to clear out some of this area around here. And phase 1 of the project, which is shown here in orange, is basically from Parker Avenue up to Hudson Heritage at the northern end. So that's phase 1. It's currently out to bid, and they're going to be opening those bids actually in just a couple days. So they're hoping to have a contractor on the ground in late May of this year. And then the schedule is to have the Parker, so down here to Cedar Street portion, open this fall. So hopefully sometime in October, maybe late October, this first section of the phase 1 would be open. And then the section from Cedar up north to Hudson Heritage would be open, they hope, in late June of 2023. And then they'll be moving on to phase 2, which is shown in blue. That's the Kittredge Place through Marist Campus up to Fulton Street. They're getting into the detailed design for that phase right now. So they'll be working on the design of this second phase while the construction of phase 1 is happening. And then you can see in purple, phase 3 is the last section from North Hamilton Street up to where the new Justice Center is being built. So that's the basic update. If there are questions, I can try to answer them. Although I will say that Dutchess County DPW is managing the project with their consultants from Hudson Valley Engineering.
Great, thank you, Emily. So, and that's a good website. Is that website active? Is it get active updates, or is it?
It has been updated. It's not super active, but they did update that map to show the phasing. And I'll just put the link in the chat here.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Yeah, this is an interesting new project, an urban rail trail right in Poughkeepsie, connecting up past up along near Marist College, for those of you who don't travel that part of the county often. Okay, moving along. Again, thank you, Emily. Melaine kind of set the next subject up. It's she gave us a shout out to the Dutchess County Parks and Trails website, and Bob Wills is here to give us something of an update on that. Bob, you ready to give that?
Why don't I turn it over to Warren so he can? He's saying no.
You want me to? I can load the report from Devin.
Great, that'd be great. I actually, I thought Devin would be here, so he's not. I don't have that in front of me. Thanks, Kathleen.
Sure.
But pretty impressive numbers for people that have visited the Parks and Trails website. Just this year, 304,000 people hit the website, but actually looked at pages within the website itself. 52,000 and visitors. I think this comes from the GPS information that the trail maps on the website are GPS enabled. So I think they can track people that are there from the GPS hit. So about 5,200 people there visiting this year. And the all-time numbers, when did we, I think we began this in 2017, 2018. And so about 6.5 million people have looked at the pages there and actually downloaded something, 1,300,000. So this, I believe, is still the second most popular Dutchess County website, sub-website, whatever you call it, webpage,
Page.
after parcel access. So
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Amazing.
Great. Those are big numbers. This is. Could someone grab the URL for that and put it in the chat so that people who aren't familiar can get to that? Again, if we can take back the screen share. And next up, we've got a report, I think, from Dick Hermans for Harlem Valley Rail Trail, Dutchess County's oldest rail trail. And my friend, whose name I can't recall right now. This is the hazard of getting old and getting retired. Pete Harnick, who is one of the founders of Rails to Trails Conservancy, reported to me years ago that when we first met, that when he started Rails to Trails Conservancy and his phone was operative, the first call he got was from Eleanor Mettler at Harlem Valley Rail Trail Conservancy, and she was asking questions that he couldn't answer. So anyway, Dick, things have come a long way since then, and I think you've got a quick report to give us. Do you need a screen share?
No, I mean, I
Okay.
could, but I won't. Thanks, everybody. Welcome, welcome, and greetings from Millerton. Our group is, we're coming out of the winter. We're still waiting for some final approvals from DOT and the parks to sign a piece of paper so that we can get put out to bid. The state will put out to bid a bridge across Route 22 up near Hillsdale to connect the section of trail that Dutchess County finished last year with another section of trail that we built a few years ago. And so the trail will be complete from Wassaic to Hillsdale. I can't say it'll be this year, but it'll certainly be by this time next year. Hopefully, we'll be having that bridge in place and more celebration if that's possible. In the meantime, we're working on upgrading the kiosks at all our trailheads with new maps and new information about the location that people are in. And we have other historical interpretive signage along the trail, and those have been in place for 25 years. And we are, 20 years, let's not overdo it. But we're gonna refresh those, and we have a great trail designer who's going to make those look very sparkling. So it's encouraging. I mean, we still have a long ways to go. If once we get to Hillsdale, we still have about probably 12 or 15 miles or 20 miles to get up to Chatham. And we have some potential there. There's perhaps the next section of trail will be from Hillsdale out to Craryville, where the Taconic Hills School is. That goes through a property that is has an application for a large solar display thing called Shepherd's Run that is taken some, has become a controversial topic in the town of Copake. Hopefully that'll work itself out. And there's a great, amazing working group that is combining people who were kind of opposed to it, to the people who are very active in supporting it. And they are coming up with a solution that Hecate, the company that's proposing Shepherd's Run, seems to be have caught on to what will work for that community. So we'll see. And the trail is going to be part of that when it does go through, hopefully. Other than that, you know, we are a membership organization. And when you come over to the Harlem Valley Rail Trail this spring, click on our new QR codes and become a member and be supportive of us as we try to become as well known as the Empire State Trail. That's all I have.
That's great, Dick. Thank you so much. And yeah, we've all got some field trips to do here coming up. And yeah, I noticed in the chat that a couple of people put up the links to the Dutchess County Parks and Trails thing. That's where you can get your map and directions to Dick's Trail. And Ron Rosen has also put up a link to the AT Vista. And Ron, are you ready to talk about that? And after this, a question to Kara Gentry. Would you like to show something about storm impacts on your side of the river? So after Ron, maybe I can get you queued up. So Ron, you want to say a few words?
I think everybody here, almost everybody here, is familiar with what AT Vista is. It's the extension of what used to be the AT Biennial. Last one was 2017 in Maine. This is going to be held August 5th to 8th, based out of SUNY New Paltz. There are 60 or so different hikes scheduled. Some of them are in Dutchess County. Others are all the way between the Catskills and even down into Orange, Rockland, a couple even in New Jersey. And good story is, since many of the people locally here might be interested in doing this, is a trails related event. I put the link in the on the chat so you can see how to get there. It's atvista2022.org. As of the 1st of April, registration is open, so you can go ahead and register for the activities. You can register for 1 day, 2 days, or the full 4 days. It's a Friday to Monday activity. We have, in addition to the hikes, there are excursions, some of which are actually in Dutchess County, like going to Vassar College to go to see the Art Center and the Arboretum there, some of the activities there. There's one excursion going to the FDR Library and Home. So as we mentioned before, this is going to bring some money into the whole region, some of which will go into Dutchess County. We're sure some of the people will actually visit CIA and some of the other great places to eat while they're here. We're hoping for 500 to 800 registrants, somewhere in that range for the event. There's also going to be entertainment on SUNY New Paltz at Studley Theater on Saturday and Sunday evenings. So there's all sorts of things going on. Anybody have any questions about it? You can get on the website and look at different things. There's the listing of the hikes, the excursions, and the workshops as well.
Okay, thank you, Ron. And actually, my closing slide has a bunch of these websites on it. And what we can do is there's an information sheet that it includes this link, and we'll send that around to all participants within a day of closing here. So thank you. Yeah, 500 to 800 people. It's in our region, and these are great events. I hope people take advantage of it. So let me see. Next, I'd like to hand over to Kara, and then I see a hand up from Brad Barkley. And after Kara, we can call on Brad. If you have questions, please again feel free to drop them in the chat, or you can give a raise hand if you'd like to give a quick report. So, Kara, would you like to take it away? And I imagine you need a screen share. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'll need a screen share, and I'll also just add on to Ron saying I'm actually going to be on their panel as a former thru hiker many years ago and a former employee for the Appalachian Trail Conference, as it was called. That's how long ago it was that I worked for them. So
17 years ago.
Was it that long? Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, you don't have to rub it in, Ron, but okay.
All right.
So take it away.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
You should be able to share, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Nice flamingo, by the way.
All right. Are you seeing the proper main screen? All right. So yeah, I was asked for the Ulster County Trails Commission meeting last night to put together a few photos from our recent rail trail flood damage. We had a week and a half ago now, we got 4 inches of rain in, basically overnight. And there was an intersection near our rail trail that got completely flooded and then washed out part of the rail trail. This is in Rosendale. If you're familiar with Rosendale, it's the intersection of Binnewater Road, Breezy Hill, Sand, I keep forgetting, and the Walka Valley Rail Trail. So here it is, sawdust, not
Sawdust,
sand,
right.
sorry, sawdust. So this is a map. Are you seeing my cursor moving around the map?
Seeing the map, not the cursor.
Yeah,
How about
we're
now?
just seeing, now we
Yeah,
do.
there it is.
Okay, there's two, it's on 2 different screens in front of me. So I wanted to know which screen you're seeing. So here is Sawdust Avenue. This is Breezy Hill, and this is Binnewater. And then this is actually a screen capture from my Strava to show where I walked the distance of the damaged area. And what we have is basically, there's a whole lot of culverts for this stream. It's culverted here, here, here. It's actually culverted in here on some private land, and then again under the rail trail and again under Binnewater. And it's been backing up. The house and barn here were all flooded on this intersection. And this is what it looked like. This is the rail trail. All right, this is what it looked like on April 8th. So we closed the trail. We got the Rosendale Highway Department to come out and give us some road closed barriers to put out, flagging up everywhere, signs up everywhere. April 9th, we're still flowing pretty strong and we're starting to get some severe gullying in there. And then 11th, you can see, roots exposed. We're down to areas of bedrock and areas of hard clay. This is my intern trying to see how much material we lost by using a stick. So it's pretty significant out there. By the end of it, this is the deepest spot. It's about 3 feet of material gone. And this is where it turned this off the rail trail. So the rail trail continues that way. It turned back off the rail trail and went back into a ditch and then to that lower culvert down further downstream on Binnewater Road. So the county contractor that has permission to dig up county culverts came out to help us out, opened up our culvert. There wasn't a problem in the culvert under the rail trail. Got permission to open up the neighbor's culvert as well. So we had neighboring property really close right here. This magnolia tree had to come out. There's actually this locust tree had to come out as well. The locust tree was actually causing some blockage. But you can see they had a jackhammer hammering away the cement culvert, and it's probably hard to see on here, but there's a snapping turtle in the stream right there. That's our feel good story for this, is the snapping turtle did not get jackhammered. So it was able to get free up and go downstream. So just a few additional pictures. We got the water flowing. The water on the other side of the street did eventually drop. The water is still flowing heavily, and we're working on trying to figure out what our next steps are going to be and how we're going to repair this. The trail is currently closed in this section. Luckily, it's actually one of the easiest places to detour people around because they can just follow Binnewater Road for about a 1/4 mile or so, and then get back on the trail easily enough. And just to show people where all that water is going, there's an old mine nearby and it's all flowing in there. So this is a wetland where the water is slowing down first, and then it's going down. This was a man-made sluiceway into this old mine, and that thing is just taking on all of this water. And I was going to head out there this morning, and I didn't have my barn boots in the car, so I didn't get to see how full the mine is this morning, but I'll go out this afternoon and see if the mine's getting to capacity yet, because I also don't know what that's going to do. With that much water in there, could end up being a problem as well. And this is what it looked like yesterday. So it's gotten a lot calmer. You can see the culvert's still flowing, but it's not quite at full capacity. I went out again this morning, and it's the water rose with all the storm water we got last night, but it's still clear and flowing. So that's good. Any questions about that?
Great. Actually, there was a question that asked if this is a paved trail, and it's not. It's actually a stone dust trail.
Stone dust. Yep.
And this is located, for those of you who knows where the Rosendale Trestle is, this is just north of the Rosendale Trestle, between there and the Women's Studio Workshop in Rosendale.
Yeah.
So thank you, Kara. Let me see. Brad, you have your hand up, and then we have a question in the chat that we'll get to afterwards.
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to, while Dick was on, I haven't talked to Dick for a long time. It's nice to see a lot of you. Haven't seen a lot of you for many years. But the section of the rail trail that that we built between Millerton and the Copac Falls Park is really, to me, just spectacular. And the use of they used actually a cement boardwalk. And you know, to do that, because you can't do anything that you're going to use federal funds, it's got to last. So they actually put in a cement boardwalk, and I think it's just a fabulous design. And I would really like to see us try and find some type of water related or water conservation related funding, or not funding, award to apply for, because I think it's one of the most spectacular sections of trail I've ever seen, and I've seen quite a few. So I don't know if Dick, I don't know if you guys have started to look at that at all. I would love to do that for our guys. I think they did a great job, although it, you know, and it took 10 years because it was just a nightmare section.
Oh yeah, forever. It took forever to get the design approved.
Right.
At 20 years of head
I'll look
scratching.
into that, Brad. I'd love to give you a medal.
No, it's believe me, it's the engineering guys who really worked it out. So
Right.
Great.
That's
Thanks.
all.
Thanks, Brad. And that's I concur. And I don't know if NRCS, you know, or any of the EPA, the wetland. I don't know. There must be something around that we could dig up.
Absolutely.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you, Brad, for that. And I've yet to get up there. I've just seen pictures. But I'm now my to-do list is growing.
I would tell you, if anyone who hasn't made it up there, it's really spectacular.
I know others here have been up there. So yeah, hats off to you all. We have a question from Eric Fife at Stony Kill Farms. He says they're hoping to create some new connections that would involve crossing a couple of county roads and potentially 9D at one point. Is anyone able to recommend someone with the county and or DOT to talk with about road crossings or for trails? And Emily, does this question go to you first?
Sure. Yeah, I was just getting my Outlook contacts. I can put these in the chat. I think for the county, probably Steve Gill, our county traffic engineer, is a good place to start. And then for 90 or any other state road, probably the traffic and safety group. So I can put Lisa Mondello's name and contact in the chat for you as well. And if she's not the best person, she can direct you.
Thank you very much.
Good question. Great use of this forum, Eric. If we can save you some phone calls or emails, things like that, that's terrific. Are there any other quick updates? I don't see any other hands up. Great. Now, I wonder if I can.
Kevin has a question.
Okay, Kevin.
Carl, do you want a quick update from the rest of beyond the Wallkill Valley that Kara just reported on?
Is there anything beyond the Wallkill Valley? Yeah,
I know it's really the only thing. Yeah, because we met last night, we did get some other reports on storm-related damage, and on the really positive side, at the Ashokan we had some. I would say they're, well, before I saw Kara's footage, I would have called them kind of moderate to severe washouts, but in actuality, they're fairly discrete spots. And they revealed some problem areas. And fortunately, in that case, because it's a county facility, Ulster County DPW was able to squeeze this in, get out, assess, and actually make some significant repairs already. And it's a real tribute to how well that trail was designed and constructed, including major 43 culverts replaced and repaired, along with the 2 bridges, and daylighting Butternut Creek in the western section, which was a place where the entire embankment had washed away prior to the trail construction. So that's on the good side. Mohonk Preserve, Roger Innes from the preserve reported that they've had a tremendous amount of damage. And as everyone knows, they got a lot of carriage roads and trails. So they're just at the beginning of really assessing and beginning to set about repairing the damage to their trail system. So, and I think, and the other big piece of news on the Ulster County side that I don't think your group is aware of, last month, the county legislature approved, I believe, $2.1 million in American Rescue Plan funding for 3 major trail improvement projects. One of them is on the Wallkill Valley Rail Trail, and it is from the village of New Paltz, Sojourner Truth Park, south to the town of Gardner, Main Street. And the other 2 projects are in the O&W corridor, one in the town of Accord and one in the town of, well, it reaches from Kerhonkson to Ellenville Village. And those were 9 months. Those are projects that will be done. They were proposed by the Open Space Institute, Annie Berglund's here today. And what was I going to say about that? I think that's basically it. They actually, at the end of the day, there was robust discussion as to the wisdom of including these trails as infrastructure projects to use American Rescue Plan funding for. And at the end of the day, they actually got very, very strong support from the municipal leaders in the communities that they are located in, and ultimately from the legislature as well. And Legislator Nolan is here today, and she really helped shepherd these and help make the case for the trails as really essential infrastructure. So thanks, Carl.
Great. And I see Emily has put for Eric Fife and others a couple of contacts, Stephen Gill and Lisa Mondello at DOT Region 8 there. And I see a couple of hands up. Beth from Greenway, would you like to give a quick report out? You there, Beth?
Sorry, I was double muted.
Oh, great.
I was muted on my phone and on. I just wanted to give just a really quick update to everyone. The Empire State Trail, we are moving along as the warmer weather comes in. We've been sending out a lot of printed maps. Someone mentioned earlier, I think it was Melaine, people really love printed materials still. So we were just saying to each other the other day, if even half the people that have requested them that we've sent them out to actually come, it's going to be fantastic. And they've been requests from literally all over the world. So it's really been interesting to see. We're going to be transferring that task off to state parks, but it's been interesting to just sit there and stuff envelopes and see where people are from that want to know about the Empire State Trail. And so just related to that, there was recently a article in Outside Magazine that named, I'm going to put it in the chat. I think I did that right. The Empire State Trail, the best rail trail in the United States. So we were pretty gratified about that. And so should everybody that has been working on all of these trails for so long, because it's really the culmination of many, many years of everyone on this call and many others. So, and it's not even a culmination, there's more to go, but it was really exciting to see that. Yeah, let's not put a pin in it. It's still going. And I wanted to mention that the Greenway Conservancy Trail Grant Program has applications open right now. It's a May 6th deadline. Construction, planning and design, rehabilitation and improvement, and education and interpretation are the categories that are fundable. I'll put in a link for that as well on our website. And it's not, large funds, but we have more than we used to, and we've been able to help out a lot of people to at least get started on their project. So if you have any questions, once you look at the website, give me a call or an email. And the Hudson River Valley Ramble will be going on this September. So on the heels of the AT Vista will be the Ramble, which is throughout the Hudson Valley. And the website is open right now, and you can register your event with us, and it will be listed on our website and in all of our advertising. So please do that. And if you have any questions, again, you can email or call me, and love to talk about it. So thank you for giving me just a few minutes.
Great, thank you, Beth. And yeah, that contact, the Ramble is on our upcoming events list, and that'll go out to everyone. Brad, do you have another quick?
Real quick, just to Kevin, I ride the Ashokan Rail Trail about once a week, and the how quickly they get out there and fix the damage that was done was just great. It was literally from 1 week's ride to the next week's ride that they really fixed almost all the damage. The only thing I did want to mention was north of Butternut, so it's between the 18.5 and 19 mile marker. There were some really deep cracks in the prism that indicated
Noted.
like land shifting, and that was, I don't know how you repair those, but I just wanted to make sure you guys had noted them.
That section, good eyes. That's a good spot. I actually rode the trail from end to end to assess the damage. I actually saw those, and I took photographs and noted them in my report to the planning department and DPW, and they're going to have an engineer look at those. That is right in the section.
Okay, because that
very
was
close
not
to the
good.
section where the embankment had actually washed out. There were places where the tracks were just hanging in the air. There was another section where the Tourist Railroad Company had done cribbing, like Lincoln logs, and jacked the tracks up because the embankment had just washed away underneath it. So yeah, that needs to be looked at with a professional eye. I will give a shout out to our Showcam Stewards program.
They did a great job.
And we use Slack as a communications tool. And we have stewards that are out there every day, and they're the ones who send these early reports with photographs and mile markers to let us know what's going on where, and then we can make a determination on which of those things rise to the level that we need to alert the planning department and the Department of Public Works to schedule a visit.
And if you don't think the mile markers are important, this is when they are.
That's right. Absolutely. But thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Great. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Kevin, for that update. One thing we're coming up on our time. One thing I'd like to do is to go back to our screen share. Can people? This is our agenda. We're at the close, but I want to call your attention to our next roundtable, which will be Tuesday, July 19 at 1 p.m. You'll get a notice about this, but mark your calendars now. It'll be a report from Open Space Institute. The exact title is to be refined here, but it's about let me see. All of our trails happen through partnerships. Partnerships are the only thing that enable us to get stuff done these days. And Open Space Institute has been a wonderful partner for many of these, and we look forward to hearing about some of their major projects in our region. Upcoming trail events, again, you've heard about some of them already. One you haven't heard about is the Hyde Park Healthy Trails Walkabout Kickoff. Hyde Park Healthy Trails is a program, but in Hyde Park to encourage walking for health and actually to see all the great places there. If you walk 12 Hyde Park trails, you can earn a free sew-on patch. But the kickoff walk is signable. You have to register. It's happening this Saturday. You have to sign up through Eventbrite. It'll be at the Home of FDR site. And again, this will go out to you within a day. Nobody does this stuff, but the Railside Trails Conservancy has Celebrate Trails Today, same day, 23rd, Earth Day week. I checked their website a couple of days ago. The nearest, they used to call it opening day for rail trails. It used to be April 16th or something like that. But the nearest event to us is in Connecticut. Come on. Anyway, we got to do better than that. I mean, granted, it's just another promotional event, but really, anyway, almost no events.
We're doing a Celebrate Trails Day event too.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Even though you're not a rail trail? Oh, you are a rail trail. That's right. Are you doing it in Rosendale? Sorry.
Rosendale, the whole trail, Rosendale, Gardner, New Paltz, and Kingston.
Oh, I didn't see you on the list. You're so good. Okay, thank you.
I don't know if our organization, yeah, we should be on a list.
Okay.
There's also an event in New Paltz.
Okay.
That's separate from our event.
Okay. They showed us little green tags that says there's a trail here, but not as an event locale. So anyway, that's good to know. Thank you.
Okay.
And again, the nationwide opportunity, National Trails Day is always the first Saturday in June. It's a day of service for trails, not the kind of thing that's of interest to Melaine, but oh well. This is our chance to give back to these trails that bring us so much. And anyway, that's coming up. If you have an event, this is a great way to publicize it. We did this a couple years ago in Hyde Park. We got, I think, a pallet full of granola bars for volunteers that kept our trail events well fueled for a year and a half.
We could have put them down on the rail trail. I mean, on the trail just for surfacing.
They give you swag, and you never know. Anyway, but it's a great event. And again, as Beth said, Hudson River Valley Rambles coming up. It'll run all September, plus the first couple days of October. Get your events signed up. Think about events. Get them signed up there. And Ron talked to us about the AT Vista at SUNY New Paltz. That's the website. Again and again, you'll get this in your email if you're with us. So I'm going to end my share. You should not be taking notes because you're going to get this anyway. But anyway, thank you everyone so much. This has been a wonderful program. Melaine, I'm still going to have to think about some of the things you said. The things I've taken notes here, they're follow-up questions that we may have to get back with you. But it's so helpful to see all the kinds of things. I mean, putting vehicle wraps on Uber and Lyft cars in Washington, D.C. and where else? Yeah, Savannah, Philadelphia.
And D.C. were first, and then this summer will be Tampa and Savannah to connect us with those direct flights into Stewart.
That is mind warping. Sorry, that's fascinating to hear that kind of stuff is going on and that it works. Anyway, this is, again, an enormous, education to all of us. And the kinds of you talked about different free advertising, things like that. And we heard from Andy Beers last night in Ulster County that when the New York Times article on the Empire State Trail came out, their request for maps went from something like 1,500 or something like that to like 47,000.
Carl, there was a quick question from Melaine to Beth.
Will it be a
there
printed ramble guide this year? Beth,
you still there?
Will it be a printed ramble
we're
guide?
not going to be doing a printed ramble guide this year. We found last year, but since we weren't, it was the first year we didn't do it because we weren't sure there was going to be a ramble. And so we kept it strictly online, and found that there was still a lot of really great participation. And because they are quite costly, we're trying to see if maybe just doing either like a very small print run or just keeping everything online will be just as beneficial. So
I will tell you that we had a lot of people call and ask for it because they were used to getting it and they were looking at it and they wanted that printed guide.
Yeah, we did have last year. We did get some calls like that because some people, do call us directly. We sent out a postcard that let people know that it wasn't going to be printed, directed them to the website. And then we did get some, so we did do a small print run, and anybody that really wanted a copy, and I know some people have maybe like visual issues with the online format, we would mail one out to them, but just not to the scale that we've done, in the past. But that is good to know, so thank you.
It is good. It's fascinating to find out the way that printed products are still, greatly desired and useful for people. So if you have an old ramble guide, hang on to it, because one thing that we learned is that people actually use them for reference during the year. If they didn't go during the ramble, where do you go the rest of the year? So they use it, for when family visit or everything like that. Again, thank you so much, all of you, for your participation, for your interest. This has been a great program.
And if you have any questions, feel free to email them to us and we can try to get the answers for you if need be, or hook you up with whoever you need to be hooked up with.
And if you have ideas for future programs that you'd like to see here, feed us ideas. If you've got a program you'd like to pitch to us that you do, pitch it to us. Anyway, let's all go and do good work for trails.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Kathleen.
Thanks, everybody.